So the naysayers, the donkeys, will give me a hard time. And you got to understand, if you're an ex-fighter, it's like the lions listening to the donkeys. Do you understand? So when I make these comments, I will take criticism from the other lions, but from donkeys, they don't mean jack diddly to me. So when I'm getting crucified by people, I'm thinking, why would I be bothered what you're saying? If you don't understand the fundamentals of when you get in the ring, you don't understand what it's like to get punched in your nose. You don't understand what it's like to get in there with a southpaw fighter and not to figure them out. Why would I be bothered about what you got to say? I always say, promoters stick to talking about promoting. Managers stick to talking about managing. Trainers stick to talking about training, and fighters talk about fighting.
That's it. To the 13th final round, and Johnny will meet up again. Just a little catch up. That's all we're doing. We'll come to your house. Thanks for the invite.
Oh, I know what the catch was about. I've been pestering you boys. I've been pestering you boys for one of these. So I'm now in the club.
Got his jacket.
I'm in the jockey club now. I'm in the club. I'm like, yo, hook me up.
Prestigious jacket that, you know.
I'm driving up to Leeds trying to find them. Every time they go to shows, I'm hunting them down. These guys have got a restraining order on me saying, yo, hook me up. So I've got one now.
So
I'm
now. We drove all the way.
But you forgot the peak cap.
Don't worry, we'll sort that out.
Come. If you give me one, and I'll wait on my on our pod first.
If they're interested in getting the same garments.
At the bottom there'll be a logo that comes up, which will show you where you can buy on the website.
That's right.
Everybody knows I love a peak cap, and every time we do the first spell, our YouTube show, we make sure I've got a cap on. So I love them. So I like that.
I know which cap you got on, so I want to see this cap on now.
All right, when it drops.
So, when it drops. We'll post it to you, in fact.
Yeah, all right, bring it on.
We're going to drop this on Friday.
I got a big head, by the way, so
no, look,
7 1/4. That suits me. Shit.
Is that
I think it's.
What size is it? Read it.
Extra large?
Yeah, extra large.
Extra large. Yeah, see there? Extra large.
Mine's got small.
Yeah, fit the bullet head inside me.
Where I want to start, because Joe Joyce is this weekend. What do you think the outcome's going to be this weekend?
I think Joe Joyce against Zhang. I think Joe Joyce gets revenge. I think Joe came across somebody that's exactly like him, and all Joe's opponents up to that point did exactly what Joe did to him, which was Joe's easy to hit. He doesn't look that fast. And so the fighters get greedy because they think, I've got one in, I've got 2 shots in, shit, 3, 4, 5, and they blow themselves out. And that's how Joe came across exactly a carbon copy of himself, but bigger. And he came in a stone lighter than what he normally comes in at. So his mistake was getting greedy. I think Joe now has learned the lesson. I don't think Zhang is will change anything else apart from put the pressure on early on. Joe needs all he has to do. Joseph Parker needs to go in there and box. Don't get greedy, and his pace of boxing will be enough to beat him.
Do you think that he's going to do anything different, like stay more on the back foot? Or do you think he's just going to plough forward like he does?
No. He needs to box. If he goes on the front foot, he's walking into fire. He's got to box him, move. He's not a dancer. He's not a mover, but he just needs to discipline. Wins your fights. I don't know why I thought about it this morning. It was like talking about Canelo and Charlo fighting, and everybody's like they've written Charlo off, but in reality, Charlo, the only people that are going to beat Canelo right now are disciplined fighters. Now, I'm not saying he's not disciplined. What I'm saying is discipline as in the game plan, discipline in your application. So when you get in there, you've got to box, you've got to be smart, you've got to not be ruffled by the pressure that Canelo's putting on you. The guys that have beaten Canelo have had that discipline, and that's the only way you beat him. And so even though you'd look at it thinking it'd be a good fight, I just think if he don't show discipline, he loses the fight.
You know, people, I don't know if you in your circles, but a lot of my circles are like, they think Terence Crawford could beat Canelo. No. Listen. Crawford boxed outstandingly. I think Crawford, and even in that fight against Spence, I looked at Spence, I thought, hey, something not right there. And even afterwards, now you look at it and think to yourself, you know what, Crawford needs to, and I know it's a bit premature, pack in. Because his timing is off. And fans will see this and be outraged, saying, "How can you say that, writing a man off like that?" His timing is off. His timing is now to start to slow down, in small steps. So what his situation is going to get worse before it gets better.
What do you think that's with? Is that to do with his preparation? He's not dedicated like Crawford. You think he's draining down his weight?
For Spence?
Spence, yeah.
I think Spence, it could be how he spars in the gym.
Yeah.
It could be whatever's happened in his accident. It could be, but what I can remember going to watch Michael Watson spar with, let my man in, he'll come in. I can remember going to watch Michael Watson spar for the Mike McCallum fight.
Yeah.
And so when Mike McCallum, when he boxed Mike McCallum, he was sparring with, I think it was Howard Eastman.
Oh, wow.
And we were in London watching Michael spar, and Brendan said, that is where the damage is done. And this is before Michael had his so the sparring. So let's do the maths. The maths of this. If you're sparring 5 days a week, and 5 days a week, maybe you're doing 5 rounds. You're just averaging it out. 5 rounds, each round you're getting hit 10 times in your head. That's that's 50 times a day. Right, so that's 50 times a day, 5 times a week. That's 250 times a week. That's give it a 4-week month. That's 1,000 times a month getting hit in your head. That's 12,000 times a year getting hit in your head. So can you imagine? Do you understand? So if you look at it like this, it's a matter of time before
you see
there's going to be a knock-on effect. No, I'm not saying that's what he's doing. What I'm saying is, if you spar like that, you can only expect it to have an effect on you some way, somehow. And Spence, listen, I might be smart after the event. I've said it about everybody. I'm telling you now, and I'll get cost down for it. I'm telling you now, it's timing. There's many things that are just not right. Did you see when the referee got in the ring at the fight? For what? What did he get in the ring for? You understand? For what's he got in the ring for? He's either got in the ring because there's a cut or there's something not right. What did he get in the ring for? You understand? So therefore, what I'm saying to you is, in regard to Terrence's victory over Spence, he boxed brilliantly, disciplined and everything. What I'm saying is, Spence was. It sounds like I'm taking credit off, taking the shine off Terrence's ability. Outstanding. But when Terrence is talking about stepping up to fight Canelo, sometimes. If you've got a good big one, will always beat a good little one. We saw Roy Jones do it, stepped up to heavyweight, and then he was never to fight the same fighter again. And so I think I wouldn't do it.
Down too quick for that fight.
Apparently Spence is going with Roy Jones Jr. now.
Okay, all right. And I hear that, but I just think it don't make sense. I just think. I think Canelo's an amazing fighter. I think the fighter he was not the fighter he was, but the fighter he is beats most fighters in the world. Only 98%, only 2% of the fighters can beat him.
Would that be a good move for him to go to Roy Jones?
Depends on style-wise what he wants to adapt. Does his style is he capable of implementing Roy Jones' style that'll try and get onto him? I don't think so. I think he's established way too much in regards to the kind of fighter he is. If he can do that, then good on him. It's like when we saw Eubank Jr. working with Roy Jones. Now it didn't work because Jr. is not that kind. He's not fluent enough. He's not that kind of fighter. He doesn't have that discretion to get away with a Mayweather style thing. So, but for Spence, if that works for him, he thinks it works for him. Well, good on him.
Yeah, man.
I think the only thing where it could benefit him is Roy giving him a bit more of an insight to what Crawford's doing, right?
Yeah. So knowledge is power, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't, even though he might have the insight in regards to what one fight is doing over another. I can remember Emmanuel Stewart used to work with various heavyweights.
Yeah.
And you'd be in the corner of one heavyweight, and the next minute he's in the corner of another. I think he was in the corner with Rahman when Rahman beat Lennox Lewis.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I'm saying? And
McCall as well, right?
Yeah, McCall. Sorry. Yeah. So what I'm saying to you is, just because you might know his weakness in and out of in the gym, fighting and gym work is completely different. And so you can have a few tricks as a train. Yes, he struggles at the weight. Yes, he doesn't like body shots. Yes, he doesn't like this. But you've got to implement them once the fight starts. Once the fight comes about.
Right. Okay.
We're going to ask you another question. Being a former cruiserweight champ, and seeing Usyk being the champ, I thought that you got. When I understood your comment when you said what you said about Usyk being a traditional cruiserweight, I got it. A lot of people didn't get it. As in, tell me if I'm wrong, but as in he does the fundamentals right. He does the like, how can I say it without being offensive? The stand-up European cruiserweight. You know, he does it well, but you know what he's going to do. He's not necessarily unorthodox in what he's doing.
So what I said Usyk is an average southpaw.
Yeah.
An average southpaw to me, because I've seen and I can name you southpaws. You think, oh yeah. Manny Pacquiao, Pernell Whitaker, Prince Nassim Muhammad. These are outstanding southpaws. And then you look at the Usyk. Usyk's a good southpaw. And so the naysayers, the donkeys, will give me a hard time. And you got to understand, if you're an ex-fighter, it's like the lions listening to the donkeys. You understand? So when I make these comments, I will take criticism from the other lions, but from donkeys, they don't mean jack diddly to me. So when I'm getting crucified by people, I'm thinking, why would I be bothered what you're saying? If you don't understand the fundamentals of when you get in the ring, you don't understand what it's like to get punched in your nose, you don't understand what it's like to get in there with a southpaw fighter and now to figure them out, why would I be bothered about what you got to say? I always say, promoters stick to talking about promoting. Managers stick to talking about managing. Trainers stick to talking about training, and fighters talk about fighting.
That's it.
You know, spectators spectate. So everybody's got an opinion. You can spectate, but don't try and tell me about the fight game.
It's true.
You understand? And that's why I look at this and I think, you know what, boys, you actually, when you give me this shit, I don't mind. I can speak my truth, and I can. If you ask me the same question in a year's time, I will give you a justifiable answer for the things I say. I don't say these things for clickbait. Now and again, I'll have a little laugh with you, but I don't say these things for clickbait. What I'm saying to you is, Usyk is a good southpaw. Everybody's thinking, oh my God, this guy's unbelievably can't be beaten. And everybody says that they're impossible to beat until they're beaten. Then we saw him get put on the floor with a body shot against Andy Dubois.
Stop there. What do you think of that body shot?
It was a body shot. Listen, regardless, so technically, you got officials saying no, it was illegal. Stop talking foolishness, right?
Where was the ban?
So what I'm saying, the ban's there. Harold Graham used to wear shorts up there, right? So the shot was there. So technically, if you're saying it's illegal or not, he got hit on the belly button.
Thank you.
Right. So when he got hit on the belly button and on there, so technically saying, well, it was on the ban. Okay, it was on the ban. Morally, as a fighter, Usyk lost respect from other fighters that understand the game, because they know he milked that situation.
He did.
Right, and so it shows it's intelligent to think like a footballer rolling the floor to try and get the decision from, get a free kick or whatever. What it is was he bought some time, and the referee got sucking into it, and he bought it. So you can't blame him for him. You don't blame the player, blame the game.
That's it.
Right. So why when I said that was, even if they say, oh, technically it was low, it wasn't low. If the referee said get up, I'm counting, he'd have got up. But what it showed, because the shot itself instinctively, unless he's got big things down there, the shot instinctively, boom, he went down.
He did.
He didn't want to know. He's all over. And this has always been a weakness. Once you found that weakness, that chink, that will always be there. And that's why. And so people think it's blasphemy. Me talking like this. I'm a lion. Why should I lie and listen to a donkey? You understand? And I'll keep saying that, and it might come across as insulting, but I'm just thinking, talk about what you know about. I won't talk about managing. I won't talk about promoting.
Do you know what upsets me though? It's like if I step in a room with you, right, and I think I have a different opinion of you, right, and I might just sit quiet and think I'm not going to say it, and then it comes out, well, right, you're a former world champion, automatically that should kind of...
You got your scratch respect.
Even when you've retired, I won't look at you any different, because you deserve that, because you've earned that. There's too many discounts.
And this is the problem. Everybody has an opinion now, and they'll type and say be faceless. And the thing is, if you're a sportsman or woman, and you're influenced by people's opinion and what they say, then you're the idiot, not them. Because again, just think lions and donkeys.
That's it.
You understand? And if you think like that, thinking, well, of course, you know, I remember Ali was talking about one time, his career, he said, to me it was like I was walking above the clouds and I could see way beyond the clouds, and everybody else that was down there, the donkeys, are saying, oh Ali, watch it, there's a pothole there, you're going to trip over that. And he's like, no, don't worry about it, I know where I'm going. You understand? He could see a division. He wasn't listening to the people that couldn't see what he could see.
That's it.
So and this is my argument. The problem is, some of these con men and women try to talk to you like they
know better than you, but they've never done it. And so unless you're a fighter that's done it and we have a conversation, then your opinion is valued to me.
What I like about you though is you like some people get so wound up by the pundits and people's opinions, I don't want to be around them, right? Whereas you do well because you can get between it and still do what you do. It's an act.
It's a family trait. It's called don't take no foolishness. You know what I mean? So when it comes to the foolishness, you just think, I get ignorant and like, I'm not playing that game. And so sometimes some of the things I say will not be popular, not even with the bosses. Will not be popular, and so not even with my peers in this fight game. But I will come back on it. Derek Chisora was an example. When AJ boxed in Saudi, and I did an interview with Coogan, and Coogan said about Derek fighting Wild. I said, Derek should pack in. And this is coming from a place of love. They come saying, nah, John, you're out of order, blah, 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 all this. And he came across as rude on the interview, but I know Derek. You know, he's a lovable rogue.
There are sensitive people in boxing.
And I just thought, you know what, give it time. I don't mind, but in 5 years' time, come talk to me in 5 years' time. You know, come talk to me when you can't find your shoes. Come talk to me when you can't find your shoes. You understand? I see both sides of the fence. You know what I mean? I've been a zero to a hero. I've been a fighter. Now I'm not a fighter, so I see it. I understand what's at risk and what you're willing to value. But if you ask me a question, I'll give you an answer.
That's it.
It's short-term, long-term thinking. We're blessed because we came out of Ingles, which we was told. I'll be honest with you, if I was part of another gym where it was like, get hit, move forward, and lose your cognitive abilities in later life, I'm like, I'm not going to box. Do you understand what I mean?
I went to, when I left school, I got kicked out of school early. I was a lovable rogue. But the year before I got kicked out of school, Mum moved me to London to go and live with my brother down in Tootingbeck. And I'd been to a boxing club that was near my house. I hadn't been to Brendan's yet. And there was a boxing gym above the Half Moon pub in Tulse Hill. And I thought, you know, I've got this boxing club. So I walked down to the club. When I walked in the club, I watched them sparring. They were knocking the shit out of each other. And I'm stood there, I'm like, I ain't doing this. And I stood there watching, say, you joining in, son? No, I've just come to watch. And I chipped. I left. I would never have boxed if I didn't go to Brendan's gym. Because Brendan taught me, he groomed me into believing in myself and loving boxing. When I saw that man getting licked in the head, I'm like, no, I ain't ever done none of that.
Can I tell you something? Right, when I trained at the Ingles, with you guys, and I used to walk in, and then on the body sparring, when these lot are in, the seniors, it's like, I want to get in there, and they're all calling me in. It's the same way. That's what you're hearing blows.
That's what I'm saying. The best way to learn, and this is a message to all fighters coming through. Remember the maths that I did about getting hit in the head. When you're sparring to the body, most of the time, so you're getting the technical movement and everything, but you're creating more ring fitness.
That's right.
Ring stamina, and then when you've got a fight coming up 2 or 3 weeks before a fight, open it up, do open sparring, but not every day. And how many Ingle fighters can you say are punch drunk? You know, small numbers. Where
I don't. I'm not gonna say that.
But small numbers. But what I'm saying to you is, most fighters, you know, they've boxed. By looking at them, by listening to them talk.
I'm lucky. I come to the Eagles.
That's what I'm saying. You're an actor. You're acting, man.
I came from Manchester and I was flown up to the Eagles, and that was it. But it does affect you.
It does, and that's why.
You gotta be careful. You got to look out for that as well.
When I stopped boxing when I was 30, I went through 18 months of being very forgetful and when I knew. And I started playing, I was saying to the I started playing word games to get my cognitive thinking again, and it really did help. And then with my work now, I'm constantly having to think.
You've got to be. I when I was 26, 27, I'd boxed for the world title against Carlos de Leon, drew. I lost for it against James Waring about 18 months later, and I'd kind of immersed myself in amongst people that just knew boxing. And so at one point when I fell out of love with the game,
I felt stupid because I could only talk boxing.
Yeah.
And we think boxing is the whole world. Boxing's that in the world. So when you come out of the boxing world and you try and hold a conversation about anything else, you feel really stupid. And it's scary.
Yeah.
So I went to college, then went to university. I did 2 years on a recreation management course at university. Didn't do the third year. I dropped out. I think all of a sudden I had to make a decision, and it's funny how life turns out. I had to make a decision. I had a gig in South Africa, and I thought, I've got term on. I'll go to South Africa, I'll have a year off and go back. Never did the next year. But what I'm saying is, in doing that, it's broadening my horizons and thinking about education. It just helped me switch on a bit. And and this is what happens, and so you've got to do little exercises to keep your finger in, because if you don't, you are like a school leaver by the time you finish. You're a big ass man and you finish boxing, and it's scary.
Give a big shout out to our sponsors. It wouldn't be able to do the episodes or buy the equipment to do a podcast without the sponsors. So we're going to give a big shout out to
One Love Caribbean Food Shop in Bradford. Thank you very much.
The best Jamaican food in England, my wife will tell you. Also a big shout out to the Fat Loss King for sponsoring us. If you want to lose 5 to 20 pounds and look good for the summer, there's no better time and see results like this. Guys, keep on enjoying the podcast, and don't forget to give us a shout out. Don't forget to like, share,
comment, subscribe,
and subscribe.
And subscribe as well.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
I hate doing and I can do it. I'm very good at mental arithmetic.
You can do it, but it's just there. It's like, how do I start it?
Yeah, I'm very good at mental arithmetic, but I hate doing admin. You know what I mean? I used to do it. And that's what I'm saying. I can do it, but I hate, because I'm like, I feel as though I'm just caged in, like, I get it done, but it mashes my whole day. I keep putting it off, cutting it off. And I'd prefer, and it doesn't mean I ain't spoiled or privileged. What I'm saying is, my job is to earn the money. Someone's job is to manage it and just work your work. Do what you can do. You understand? And so I just think, but I know I should. Now and again, I have to. I've got no choice. But we've got to keep pushing ourselves, testing ourselves.
We have to.
I think that being a CEO or being the boss, you need to know what everyone's doing. But then you need to be able to trust people to do it for you.
Delegation. Delegate. If you delegate correctly, you'll be very successful. If you try and do every job going, you'll just be a busy fool.
And it'll be too much for you on the brain.
Been there. It took me a lot when I went on the online coaching. I was editing my own content. I was DMing, emailing, doing everything, and now I've got my own 2 editors. I've got my own virtual assistant. You have to.
And the quality has risen because now you know what he knows what he's being employed for. Him. This is what I want. And if that's not what you want, you'll do it again. Well, we don't do it again.
We're doing the same thing to this as well, aren't we? This podcast, same thing we're doing.
I've seen your content. Your content is actually just, I can see you now. I don't know what you've done, but now I see you popping up everywhere. And I'm like, them boys have done something. I don't know what it is, but you've done something.
We're trying.
We're trying. It's hard, you know, and it's hard. You know what I mean?
Our next step is getting on the circuit. So
and even sponsorships as well. People out there, you know what I mean, for help as well.
But that's why I'm getting on the circuit, meeting people. A lot of the active fighters.
That's it.
It's the opportunities will come. Be patient, stick it out.
I was going to ask you, do you watch MMA before I ask you this next question?
Not madly. So if you asked me to name fighters and stuff like that, I couldn't do that. But I do watch it randomly.
We've done a lot of podcasts recently, and we're talking to people about Francis Ngannou, and everyone's like, Ngannou ain't got a chance. But I'm going to throw a spanner in the works here. Tyson's got to be switched on for the first 4 minutes.
So when Mayweather boxed Conor McGregor, and we were out in America. And remember, 2 different worlds now. So in our world of boxing, we think Conor McGregor's not got a chance. 1 or 2 you thinking, why? You're swayed by the publicity, thinking, why? In the world in Conor McGregor's world, they're thinking Mayweather hasn't got a chance. And so it was
like speaking to aliens when we spoke to McGregor fans, and for McGregor fans tweeting to us, they thought, "Are you lot stupid?"
That's it.
And so never the twain should meet, because obviously what happened now, if it was the other way around and Boxer went into the octagon,
Cage, different.
you know, he'd get turned over. So I understand what you're saying about Ngannou and Tyson Fury. Ngannou's a strong, tough cookie, and Tyson's got to negate and be smart. If he goes in there complacent, if he goes in there like a daisy, he gets turned over. And it's that simple. You'd expect him.
I think it's going to be easy after 4 minutes.
No,
Like the first 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So last week I got to interview Francis Ngannou. Went down to the press conference. I got 5 minutes with him, talked to him, asked him questions off camera, understood where his mindset's at, and I actually give a tip. I'll tell you off camera what I said. What I would do. And his manager gave me, says, "You give me the chills," because Mike Tyson's picked up on that as well. There's a simple thing that you could do to throw Tyson slightly off, right? So when you're in the amateurs, your mindset's to move forward, innit? When you go to pro, you slow it down.
Side.
The MMA guys don't think like this.
Just go forward.
They come straight forward, and the angles of the shots. If you go back and watch Francis when he beat Alistair Overeem, the shots and angles, they're going to be different angles that Tyson's not going to be thinking about.
But let me tell you this about Tyson. And I sparred with Tyson once, and I was an established fighter. He was a young man coming through, and even then, his size is a bitch to deal with. He's tall, he's long, and he moves like a youngster. And so, because he's tall and long, even if he's in front of you, you can't really get him because he's that long. His hands are out there. So even though you'll see there, you think, I've got to get to him. He's very awkward to hit because he's tall and he's long. Very unorthodox to hit because he's tall and long. And so it looks easy than what it is. He's not as smooth or as polished as Usyk, but he has all the abilities of Usyk in regards to boxing southpaw, boxing orthodox, boxing forward, boxing backward. Now Ngannou will be made for him if he rushes onto him. But if he's going to rush him, he's got to rush him. Don't think twice about it, because if you think twice about it, what's going to happen to Ngannou was going to the same thing that happened to Dillian White. Dillian White was thinking twice about it, leave himself at punch range, and then walked into a shot. So if he's going to rush him, he's got to rush him. And I mean, rush him when the referee's like having to say, break, he's got to put it on him, get his feet, and let the shots go.
That's the only chance he's got, I think.
Like he did with Wilder.
It's going to be easy, isn't
Same thing he did with Wilder when he rushed Wilder. Second fight.
But what the thing is with Wilder is, Wilder, on a technical note, is actually not the best fighter in the world. What's pulled Wilder through is that punch power. And yes, Wilder was a former world champion. I hear all this shit, but technically, is terrible. But that punch, how many fights has Wilder been in? Where he's taken a man out, he's been behind on points, he's taken a man out with a punch. That was Wilder's TNT. You know, and anybody that knows boxing will understand what I'm saying. If you don't know boxing, you're going to send abuse.
That's it. Armchair boxing is true.
I don't care. If you don't have no power, then
that's if he didn't have the power, he'd have been turned over a long time ago. But he's got the power.
Good. Do you think Wilder hits harder than Francis then?
Yes.
Seriously?
But speed creates power.
Yes.
Right. So Wilder could walk around about 15 stone. You look at his legs; they're like worse than my granddaughters are bigger, thicker than his leg. But he has the power, so the power generates speed. I mean, he has the speed, and that generates the power.
Wilder needs to do that punching test up, because Francis Ngannou holds the record on it, doesn't he?
Okay, I get that, but the thing is, there's no point in being able to hit hard if it ain't nothing to hit.
I think he'll land it better than Ngannou. I think he will. Wilder lands shots better.
The 4 rounds and the 10 rounds.
But he's more sharper Wilder than Wilder. You know what I mean? But we'll see.
One thing I find interesting is boxers working the cardiovascular system. And MMA fighters work cardiovascular but more anaerobic. And so if Tyson has a game plan, if Tyson's listening, and he leans on Ngannou, who's playing into his game, because anaerobic, he'll be ready for that. Actually, that will give Ngannou more of a rest,
because they're used to it and they'll floor grappling.
Whereas boxers are one staying in one system. People don't understand that. It's almost like saying you run a marathon and then you're putting sprints in between it. You're in and out of cardiovascular, anaerobic. And so when Tyson tries to lean on him, actually it's
one thing is a good one.
It's the worst thing you can do.
It's hard. It's potentially could be a long night for Tyson if he boxes him, you know, and that's what he's got to button him up. He's got to soften him up and butter him up and just see what he can get away with.
It'd be interesting to know how the people working on Tyson, how they've looked at that scientifically. Because in Ghana we're looking for that. We're looking here, please come inside, let me work on my anaerobic system. It's built for that anaerobic system.
Can I ask you something? Have you ever done MMA or just tried to do wrestling, jiu-jitsu?
No.
But if you
Let me just tell you, so my PET, he's great MMA, very good, and keeps telling me to go down. And I know what it's like. I know what it's like going into another gym from another sport. David Beckham came into our gym once to watch all the sparring. We didn't think David Beckham's there. We were thinking fresh meat. No, I was there with David Kent. So David just stood at the side, and Naz said, "Are you coming up? Because we're all in the ring." And everybody's like looking at thinking, "Fuck him." And David's smart. Went, "Nah, I've just come to watch." So me going into an MMA gym, I know for a fact I'm fresh meat. It doesn't matter what I've achieved. I'm fresh meat. So I said to my PT, I said, "Yo, the problem's this. I'm fresh meat." So basically, I go in there no matter what it is. They want to. You can't help it. It's an instinctive, animalistic thing.
We're fighters, man.
That's what it is. So I said, unless I've got one-on-one training with somebody and it's just me and them, I ain't doing it because my legs are too long.
Can I tell you something? I've run my own gym, and going to Solid Impact anyway. We do MMA and jiu-jitsu. So they've put me in with a guy just wrestling on floor because he showed me a few bits. And he said, "Donovan, why do you do a little match?" Nah, man, not me. Because I know you got punches after that. Wrestling is easy, but the punches and kicks after that. Obviously, I come from a kickboxing background, but nah. It's different.
I did karate probably when I was a youth. Probably for about a year or two. No, just trained. A small social club, and then I can remember boxing in New Zealand, and some guy came up to me and said, "Have you done martial arts before?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You can tell how you move." No problem. But I just think, stay in your lane, man. How many boxers have you known that have been successful the other way around?
I know.
None. Even James Toney got turned out. Julius Francis got took down.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. It's very hard fighting off the floor.
It's good to do for fitness, but it's a good fitness.
I think them man. Have you seen the side of gloves? And they're getting licked with an elbow.
It's different. You don't have to punch in that. The wrestling beauty, it's the wrestling type. The exercise is very good.
I remember I came out of boxing, and my friend who was preparing for an MMA fight, he said, "We show me how to do striking." His black belt jiu-jitsu. The first half an hour, we did stand up. I couldn't hit him. I was literally waiting for him to go left and chucking a shot right, and I still hit him. I don't know how I hit him. But then we do the next half an hour waiting on the ball.
Not easy.
The subtle movements.
It drains you, Johnny. It drains you.
I've always wanted to do Tai Chi.
Tai Chi?
But that keep me out of it, man. No, it's not going to.
You want to see boxers going the other way. So when Tyson said he thinks he beat him in a cage, have you seen the clips where Tyson got taken down by Nick Diaz?
No.
And Nick Diaz is
took him down, slammed him.
Yeah, one arm is just foolishness. I think you do that, you just Tyson, don't bit off more you can chew. Frank Warren saying it's a game changer, this fight. I don't understand how, but the game changer would be if Ngannou knocked him out. That'd be the game changer.
This is the thing, right? I like Ngannou as a person because I've now that interaction and I've spoken to him. But the worst thing that can happen is Ngannou winning, because what does that mean for boxing?
I agree.
It opens doors for them.
But then all of a sudden, it wasn't a boxing match; it was an exhibition.
It opens doors.
Punch, you can't argue.
That's it.
I think that I personally think it's starting to come to an end, because I think that once KSI fights Tommy should win that, all right? Then it's just when we're going with this. Because Tommy's going to beat Jake Paul and KSI. You got Logan Paul like this.
But you know what, you've got to give it to the YouTubers, because they're teaching boxers how to sell themselves.
On your group, every single week, on your group, I'm trying to explain that to them.
It's called boxing snobbery.
Explain to money.
It's called boxing snobbery. And what's happened is, if you you know, the authenticism, if that's a word, of boxing, and you've been doing it since being a youth.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, these little, like, come across sometimes little posh kids that are sat behind a computer playing games, and they're not talking boxing language, and they're doing all the things that are wrong. There's no respect for them. But these guys are boxing on a bill where you've got world title fights on the undercard, and nobody knows, but know these two kids that are fighting. You know, then they've got a problem. So boxers need to understand, you know what, we need to learn the business side of this from you guys. They sell themselves, they know how to sell themselves and market themselves. Now, boxing, historically, boxers have been scammed by promoters and managers historically. And so they're the ones that's doing the talking. They're the ones that this is my boy, this, that, and the other. Then you look at the YouTubers, they're the ones that are up front saying, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and boxers are like, yo, what is this? So modern day promoters and managers hate this because all of a sudden they're thinking, whoa, I don't want my fighters seeing what you're doing. The worst thing that's happening for promoters and managers now is social media. Because fighter A can talk to fighter B. So when your manager's saying, oh, he's not interested in it, there's only X, Y, Z in it, and fighter B says, no, man, I'm getting this, man is getting exposed. And so promoters are starting to lose the grip. Certain promoters know what I'm talking about, are losing the grip because back in the day, they had it locked down.
There was a system that everyone had to run by.
But now you've got too many uppity fighters that are saying, man,
I do my own.
But you know them fighters what like are saying, oh, I don't like the tube, just seeing this, that, and the other. They need to, they're literally staying in the dark ages and just letting managers and promoters run the system out.
Because they've been brainwashed from a long time ago.
Because these guys are showing you, like Mike Tyson says, it says, all you need now is a trainer and a lawyer.
That's it.
You just do the promotion yourself.
That's right. But the thing is that, again, the lions are listening to donkeys. I'll keep going back to that, and it sounds insulting.
All right, so just to finish off, we're going to get to know John a little bit better.
Bring it on. Just want to get myself in trouble and say something, I should say.
A little bit of fun.
Yeah.
So, growing up, who was your favourite professional wrestler?
Kendo Nagasaki. You lot don't know who he is, do you?
Yeah, dude, the martial art one.
Yeah.
Badly.
Kendo Nagasaki. So Kendo Nagasaki, he was around where you don't know Big Daddy, Giant Ear Stack. So Kendo Nagasaki used to wear a mask.
Yeah.
And then one time he and Big Daddy had a fight. Big Daddy was like housewife's favourite.
Yeah.
And it turned real. These men are fighting properly.
I know.
So Big Daddy pulled his mask off, and my man had like these piercing blue eyes. You're like, shit. He's scary, man. And because Kendo Nagasaki he wasn't obviously following the script, and at school they used to call me Johnny Quengo because he was an African guy with a big forehead. He's butt man like that. So I'm going old school now. I'm sorry, I might as well change the subject.
That is proper wrestling, though, isn't it? It's proper wrestling.
You don't know what I'm talking about. So.
John Rocco's in his group used to.
John Rocco, his dad used to be a wrestler.
Really?
John Rocco's in the group. In the boxing group.
Yeah,
his dad. Check him out, Rocco. His dad, Rocco. Yeah.
That was easy.
Yeah. Anyway, what's your favourite animal?
Favourite animal? If you look in my garden, you'll see silverbacks left, right, and centre. You see big paintings of silverbacks. I think the most beautiful animal you can see. The posture, the look, the physique. Silverback is like beautiful. So and everyone who says you look like a silverback, I take that as a compliment. I've got there's two in my garden. I was going to have one on my front porch, but my neighbours weren't happy about it. Big painting there as you walk in. Love a silverback.
One of my favourite movies growing up was Gorillas in the Mist. That's what I love.
Love them.
My wife's from Indonesia, and we get to meet the orangutans every time I go over there.
And the strength they have,
strong man.
The strength they have is ridiculous. The other animal I know a lot about are sharks.
Yeah.
Now there's 490 breeds of shark.
Yeah.
And the fastest shark is your tiger shark.
Right.
And your tiger shark, and one was spotted off the North Sea, near an oil rig down there on the Cameron oil rig. It shows how global warming is now starting to affect the world because you're getting sharks up this side of the world. Don't mess with me and sharks. I will tell you everything you want to know, Jen.
I watch sharks as well. I remember my wife's 5'1" and this baby orangutan. that big. It went on a lap, she made fuss of it. But as soon as it came onto my
heavy
and its hand touched, man, I went like that.
An orangutan can rip your head off without even thinking
don't
about
mess
it.
with them, man.
Yeah, pure strength. But what I'm saying is they're so close to the human DNA. We actually don't manage to lock into 80% of our brain, and we restrict ourselves with so many things: instinct, second sight, and gut instincts. Listen to the things what we are distracted by in the modern world, and you look at the ape and you think, dangerous.
The next one. What's your favourite knockout of all time? This is going to be a difficult one, right?
What I've seen or what I've done.
Your favourite knockout?
My favourite knockout was against. It was a British title defence, and it was a guy that beat me in the amateurs. Ian Bullock had boxed him in the amateurs, and when I boxed him in the amateurs, I got disqualified actually. And Brendan, we turned professional. Ian Bullock had a British title, lost to Andy Strawn. Then I boxed for the British title against Andy Strawn and beat him. So Ian Bullock is from round the Bolsover way, and Brendan said, "It's you against Ian Bullock." Ian Bullock was like, man, he was like proper strong, and Brendan said, "We've got to be smart here." Great four-player, Brendan. So Brendan said, "I want you to go to the press conference by yourself." Put a shit.
That
guy there. Anyway, when it came to the fight, I knocked him out like a cartoon. Switch southpaw, bam, 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 and he slid on the rope. Check it out on YouTube. You see the shot, and I thought that was the sweetest knockout ever because.
What's the name again?
Ian Bullock.
Ian Bullock. Remember that. We'll find that.
We did a podcast with a fighter last week from Leeds called Ishmael Davis. Apparently, you thought it was. Uncle?
It was his uncle was Crawford Ashley.
Crawford Ashley.
No, it was Tom Collins.
That's it, Tom Collins.
I remember that. Tom Collins would have done in his day, but then he was former European champion, good fighter, and then when it came to fighting me, I just thought he was just older, that's all. And but Tom Collins, I forgot about him.
So Johnny, you might call it sneakers, I might call it trainers. Which are your favourite ones? What you like to wear?
Superstar.
Yeah. Oh, I mean the Converse. Yeah, man. Okay.
That's me, man.
Is that it? Done.
Yeah, that's me, man. And my Crocs.
Yeah, Crocs.
Let me just
show the Crocs. You know what it is? The Crocs are comfortable. They've got a pin inside it as well.
What I've got a bag there. That bag there. This one is for my Oyster card, and that one's for my weed.
and he got sports mode on the back. He says some chases you.
But I pick up. My daughter's like, "Dad, why are you wearing them things?" I think I'm wearing them. I'm wearing them. Now all of a sudden Crocs are popular.
Everyone's wearing them. They're comfortable.
I've always been bossing Crocs. I'm going to get some another pair. That was easy. I thought you'd give me something hard, man. What's next?
What's your favourite? My wife helped me with this one. What's your favourite fashion ever? You're fashion guy, aren't you?
Yeah, my favourite fashion. I like, and I know it's really stupid. So in France, they wear these trousers that look like jeans, but they look like Sinbad trousers. Just got a little drop crotch. I love them. Nice. But because I got stupid long legs, and it's hard to get them. But I love them. I think they're so good.
It's good to take and get made.
But I also love a suit. I love a good suit. At Sky, when they used to make us wear suits, I love a good suit. And then they don't make us wear suits anymore, so I'm like, sure. So
you get to take the suits home after as well.
No, they're my suits, man. You're talking about. So I've had to get a suit made up for the MBE. Trust me, the suit's bad.
It's bad.
I'm back on it again, man. I'm bossing a suit. I collect it on the 1st of November at Windsor.
Meet the king.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to give me, So, but the thing is, I've always wanted to go and just to have a tour around Buckingham Palace. I love history. Right, and history is usually written by the history maker, so you got to do your history and listen and look where the information is coming from.
That's it.
I've always wanted to go around Buckingham Palace or go around Windsor. I just like to see this thing, but it's not just English history. I love history in all, because if you delve into it, you'll actually re-educate yourself in regards to the propaganda you've been told coming through.
Okay, when you're working out, what's your favourite workout song? The music or song, we could say. The words, what motivates you when you're training?
No particular track. I just like an upbeat track. I like the sounds of blackness.
Gospel.
Yeah, gospel. Yeah, and to me, because remember, when you train, you're going into sort of a spiritual trance of lifting your body to a different level.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to hear no N-word, motherfucker, blah, blah. I hear all that, but what I'm saying is, I need to lift myself.
Positiveness.
To say, this is me. And unfortunately, when you come across someone that's confident and self-belief, they're classed as being arrogant or big-headed.
Yeah.
And I class it as owning your shit.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it comes to the habit where the donkeys are running the lions because a lion is a lion. You know, if you can do something, do it, and be proud you can do it.
Right.
That's ego, isn't it?
So that's what I'm saying. So when I train, I want to be lifted to say, I'm on this.
And gives you that belief that you'll be fine.
I listen to Hillsong music when I'm working.
Do you?
Yeah.
I like Hillsong. I play a lot of that, you know.
I can remember training once at the Virgin. I was like, I think I was trying to get a bit of weight down, and I had a sweat gear on. And this woman come onto the running machine next to me. She said, "You know, you're doing that wrong, you know." Aren't you? She said, yeah. She said, I'm at university doing blah blah blah. I went, okay. She talked away, but what you're doing is wrong. I went, all right. Carried on running. She said, and she carried on pursuing it, like trying to make stupid conversation. And so I just stopped the machine. I said, listen, I'm a world champion. So you tell me if I'm wrong, and you're not a world champion. Who's wrong, me or you? Because this is what works for me, and I've defended it 13 times.
Yeah.
So you tell me when I'm wrong.
Listen,
because it works for me.
Yeah, I've done it.
So she's like, yeah, but I'm just saying, don't tell me nothing. And then she just put the machine back on it again.
We all done it. Well done it.
The general public need to worry about fat loss, but boxers do need to worry about weight loss.
Yeah,
they got to make weight.
Listen, you get kids that'll go to college and university, get some letters after their name. All of a sudden, they think they're a coach. That's foolishness. I know some of these outfits. What they do is they're getting fighters to do mad sprints the week of a fight, and I'm like thinking,
no man,
are you stupid? You know, that might work in a book, but in reality, that's going to get you knocked out.
Tired.
So it's just all sorts of courses.
Definitely.
Yeah, that could be a whole conversation with me for a whole.
No, that's his game. You know, that's his game.
I agree what you're saying. I teach people than you because I'm a nutritionist and all the rest. But when it comes to professional athletes and all the rest, it's different.
Everybody's different.
Check the cap out.
I've seen everybody's different. Like I know a couple of sprinters, and I've said to him, and he was on about. I spoke to Linford Christie. I was trying to get him to do a charity boxing match.
Yeah,
and he said. I said, Linford, it's only 2-minute rounds. He went, 2 minutes is a lifetime for me, you know. My work is 12 seconds, 10 seconds, and that's it. And I'm like, and I'm thinking 2 minutes is not nothing. Exactly. You know what I mean? So it's
different.
It's different.
It's different. It's like I can go to the boxing bag and do 12 rounds still, no problem. My zone belt and in the red. Yes, but to go on the running machine, my knees can't take it no more. I'm gassing.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So unfortunately, there's a lot of people making money out of this game because they've got a few letters after their name. And that just because you have the knowledge doesn't make you a good coach. And that's,
I like what you said there because I've seen more and more strength and conditioning guys going to the boxing world. I could claim to be a boxer as well as be a strength and conditioning.
So you understand?
Yeah.
But I have to now compete with people telling me because he's got more followers on social media, knows more than me. Yeah. So we're going to choose him. I'm like, and then when they tell me what they're doing, they're like, oh, you're doing deadlift, squatting. I'm like, first of all, strength and conditioning. All right. So a boxer don't need to be focused too much on the strength. He needs to be doing power training.
Yeah, that's right.
Explosive.
Mind working, quick movements, moving weight quickly, not
powerlifting.
Like heavyweight, slow.
Again, headline, lions and donkeys, man. Lions and donkeys.
Unfortunately, this is the world we're in, right?
Yeah.
Did you answer the last question?
I've done it. Right. You just the last one.
Was that it? That was easy.
I've got one more. Favorite TV show? Are we talking Top Boy right now?
You know what? So at the moment, I've not seen it yet. Because what I'm saying, I am going to speed watch it because Spencer Fearon said, "Watch it, man. So down bad. I'm going to watch it
from the beginning, like what you told me to watch the summer first, and then go on to the.
You got to start on Summer House. So on Netflix, it starts Top Boy season 1, but there's Summer House before it.
Okay,
so watch that first, and then get the gist.
So Top Boy, I will watch it. Yeah. What have I just watched? Love and Death. That's on ITVX. Yeah. But my favourite one would probably be
Emmerdale Farm watching Donovan.
No, man, Donovan. I've seen him on all of them. Obviously, when he pops up, I'm like, yo, I mean, Breaking.
I want to see you the talkie scene, Breaking Bad.
Yeah, Breaking Bad. Bad.
Is it?
Have you seen it?
No. What is
Listen
it?
to me.
I
was one of the last. Everybody's talking about Breaking Bad. I'm like, what is this Breaking Bad? I watched it.
Yeah.
Addictable. Bad.
So, I want to have a look
Watch
at
it. Once it's bad, you're like, damn. It's like, I suppose before that it was Lost. I don't know if you remember Lost, but Lost was great, and then the writers lost their way and it just got stupid. But Breaking Bad, wicked.
Okay.
Breaking Bad is mine as well, but I've got some on par with it for Sopranos.
Sopranos, you know what? I've seen that. It's actually.
What's it about?
I've seen bits of the Sopranos gangsters. Yeah,
Italian gangsters.
Yeah, I've seen bits of it, but I've never really got.
You know when you have a fire stick, right? You just flick. But now he puts it in my head to look at, to watch, and I want to get on. Give me a list of things, man, so I can watch.
It's a legal fire stick, by the way.
No,
illegal fire stick, by the way.
He's only about to steer, man. Try to lock me up.
I got 2 last questions. Favorite actor? Denzel, man.
Eddie Murphy.
Denzel.
Yeah,
Denzel.
Is it? Eddie Murphy's mine, you know. I love Eddie Murphy.
He's not really an actor.
No, he's not really an actor.
He's funny.
Yeah, he's funny. Oh, I like. Well, you got comedians then, but favourite actor, Denzel Washington.
Denzel Washington.
Yeah. Denzel. Or Morgan Freeman.
Eddie Murphy for me, man.
Or even Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
Because you
Bernie
look
Mac.
at you
He's 42.
So you look at Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
And look at him in Django.
Yeah.
And look how he played that role.
Really good.
You know what I mean? You think shit, and I thought he's bad. And the first time when he really captured your imagination, when he did that. Remember when he did that Barclays advert, and he was giving a rhetoric, a line to camera, and you know it was one take, and my man, blah, he dropped it out, and I'm thinking, how the fuck did you remember that? Bad. So one of the smartest, I'd say Samuel Jackson, but he always comes across as an angry individual. Whereas Denzel is more fluent. He can be a bad man. He can be a cool man. He can be whatever.
Though with it as well.
Yeah. Morgan Freeman, another very intelligent actor.
I can't believe Samuel Jackson started at 42 and that.
Started at 42.
That's mad.
Yeah, but
but
he's lived life. Started at 42. Now he's on mad money.
Oh, wow.
Is that it?
Yeah, Johnny.
One more.
So before we end it, I'll let you take us out, D. I always want it. We always.
But they got to answer
a boxing question.
Yeah.
Okay. Boxing question. Next one coming on. Tell them to. Let's see how smart they are.
Okay.
It's a boxing quiz.
Let's go.
Ask them, and you can't prep them.
Okay.
They've got to get off the top of their head.
No, it's straight away. We ask them the question.
Ask them what year Jack Johnson became the first black heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah, that.
Okay. That's been Johnny Nelson. You're the first person to come on our podcast 2 times.
Hey!
Yep.
And I got a jacket, boy. I'm part of the crew.
See the jacket again?
I'm part of the crew.
People again.
I'm part of the crew.
Things. You're going to see him on TV with his...
Part of the crew. Winter's coming, man.
Winter's coming.
If you want your purchase, the link's below. You'll see it on our website.
Check it. Boom.
Check us out, D.
So thank you for tuning to the 13th and final round. Don't forget to like and share.
Make sure you hit that notification button so you get the notifications.
And tell a friend, and we out.
Peace.
All right.